Northern Waterfront Neighborhood Council meeting. My name is John Craven. I'm president of the council. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order and start with a roll call at my furthest right. Sean Hennessy.
Tony Green.
First Hallway.
Brett Rowland. And John Craven, thank you. And Brett, if you could please do the meeting protocol.
The meeting will be conducted according to parliamentary rules. The president will have the final word on the conduct of the meeting and will cast a vote only in the event the rest of the council reaches a tie. The president will recognize the speaker to make their presentation or statement, and then he will permit the council to ask questions. He will then open the floor to questions from the audience, and each audience member should introduce themselves by name and street address. No person will speak until they have been recognized by the president. All speakers will be confined to the time limits. Voting will be done by ballot. The results of all votes will be announced at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. And we're also, I just want to remind everyone, we are being recorded through Conti and his website, northandwaterfront.com. I don't think I have any other members of the media present. Oh, you are?
Adam Gaffin with Universal Hut.
Okay, thank you. And then to my president's report, there's just a few announcements I have. We've fully gotten away from our standalone website, NEWNCBoston.org, and replaced it with Facebook primarily, but also with Twitter. So I just wanted to bring that up because that's our primary contact. Of course, you can go through any of our individual emails as well, but we've gotten away from that and tried to streamline it a little bit more to get information out there. So that's what we'll be doing for that. A couple of neighborhood events. North End Against Drugs is having their Family Pride Day this Saturday down at the parks. And we encourage everyone to go. It's a nice time for everyone, and hopefully it's good weather. We had a lot of success doing it this time last year. It coincides with soccer, and again, we'll be there all day. There's plenty of things to do for the kids and the entire family. You're welcome to come. NEMPAC is having their Autumn Jazz Soiree on September 21st. I believe the deadline for reduced tickets is approaching, so be sure to check out their website to see if you want to attend that. They're a great community group serving a lot of our children in the neighborhood with the arts, so certainly try to get out and support them in this or any other capacity. The Columbus Day reception, and you'll note a typo in here, it's not September 6th and September 8th, it's October 6th and October 8th, so that's the Friday with the parade following on that Sunday. As you may know, we have it in the North End this year. Next year it's not, so it's every couple of years in the North End. And we're very happy to honor Seldon Macy this year at the reception, as well as a few other contributors in the neighborhood. So if you want to get involved in that, tickets are available online. There's an Eventbrite. I think there's also an event on Facebook. So if you search Columbus Day reception on Facebook, North End Columbus Day, then you should be able to find it there. Of course, if you have any other questions or can't find it, certainly ask me and I'll put you into the communication with the correct people. There's also a few events with Friends of Christopher Columbus Park as well as the North End Historical Society. And I'll also highlight NorthendWaterfront.com that has a community calendar. The fall is pretty busy and there's a lot of different events for a lot of different groups. So they have email lists and there's plenty of ways to get in touch with these folks, but I know they have excellent programs coming up, so be sure to look at the calendar and contact those individuals if you want to get involved. And then finally, I will ask Daniel Toscano to discuss North End hockey, if you don't mind.
Mr. President, John, members of the board, thank you. For those who don't know me, I will be, as everybody can see me. Dan Toscano, North End lifelong resident of the neighborhood. I want to thank you. I run the North End Youth Hockey Program in North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council. It's been a big supporter, and every year when I start my registration, they always allow me to come before the board and before the neighborhood to really just advertise our program, get some registration, and just tell you a little bit about it. So 5 years ago, when I was a kid growing up in the neighborhood, we had a North End Youth Hockey Program. And I played in our mites and our squirts, and Marianne D'Amato was, oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you. Marianne D'Amato was one of the founders of the North End Youth Hockey Program, and she was, and Marianne could probably tell you a lot more stories than I can, but I remember just playing hockey in the North End, and unfortunately when I got to the age when you're a peewee, we didn't have enough kids and the program folded. So we didn't have a hockey program for many, many years, so most of us went over to Charlestown. And I remember Marianne and old DA used to take us to hockey practice in Charlestown and games wherever they were. And in any event, so as times have changed and we've got more and more kids in the neighborhood, we have a lot more families here, we needed a hockey program. We have a great baseball program, great basketball program, soccer program, so we needed hockey. 5 years ago, I got together with a few folks and we started an introduction to a youth hockey program. Full equipment on the ice. We started with 12 kids 5 years ago, and now we're at 40 kids. And the only reason why we limited at 40 kids is because that's the only number of players we could put on the ice. Can't put too many kids on the ice. 40 is enough. So in any event, I'll tell you a little about it. It's a 15-week program. It starts in November. When I get the Staridi rink schedule, I can define exactly what weeks, but it's going to start in November. It runs 15 consecutive Saturday mornings at the Staridi rink from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we focus on, it's an introduction to ice hockey, focus on strengthening everybody's skating skills, whether it's forward, backwards, stick handling, puck handling, shooting. We have scrimmage games, and it's a great program. We have kids from 5 to 12. There are exceptions. So as long as it's not a learn to skate, so as long as you know how to skate, you can join the program. Full equipment is required to get on the ice, and it's been growing every year, and this is our 5th year. I'm excited as the president to continue this program. However, I don't have kids in this program, and I think this year there's going to be a new head coach, Mike Pergola, who has 3 kids in our program, and I'm kind of transitioning out, and I think Mike is going to be taking it over soon. So, and he'll know now if he doesn't know already. And in any event, so I know you have a busy agenda, but thank you very much. So once again, the North End Youth Hockey Program, if anyone knows of any kids from ages 5 to 12 interested in learning how to the fundamentals of ice hockey, please just let me know, okay? Thank you.
Can I just ask,
Sure.
if people wanted to volunteer, help, or participate in any way, do you have any contact information you can share?
Yes, absolutely. Contact me at my law office. My law office number is I'm at Drago and Toscano LLP. I'm at 15 Broad Street, Suite 610 in Boston. And you can contact me at 617-391-9450. And we hope to, I put the registration out for a week ago, and I already have 22 kids signed up, so I anticipate I'll get to the 40 again this year. All right, so thank you.
Thank you. We don't have a resident parking and traffic one tonight because Danielle had a conflict, but Maria addressed a lot of the things that are going on as far as the neighborhood in terms of the construction, and I know there's a lot more information on the northendwaterfront.com regarding that, so you can certainly look there. Danielle's still actively involved in the pilot program regarding the increase in parking fines for people taking resident spots when they're garden events. As you know, it's almost a discount to park in a resident event with the fine that you get as opposed to paying for parking around the garden. So we're still in active correspondence and communication on that, but it looks like it's something that should be helpful, and it's worked in other places, and we're going to continue to try and implement that here. And then I believe that's it for that, so I'll turn to Tanya Green with the Public Safety Committee report.
Everyone. 15 items plus the 68 arrests during the feast, which we'll talk about in a couple seconds. So I'm going to read through them fast. Commercial, and this all happened in the month of August. Commercial and Clark, fight between 2 kids, suspect hit the other and stole $20. Hanover and Clark, road rage, bumping one person onto the sidewalk. A man was kicked. The suspect was not arrested. 84 Prince Street, there was a break-in, a stolen purse, credit cards, and $18 in cash. 20 Moon Street, stolen purse and money. 283 Endicott, St. Anthony's Society. There was a safe kept in a locked room. $300 was taken. There's video surveillance, but an arrest was not made. 207 Endicott, damage done to a door. It was kicked in, but no one entered. Parmenter Street, moped was stolen, but that's down from last month. 87 Commercial, backpack stolen. 293 North Street, missing money. The victim suspects the roommate. Battery Street and Commercial Street, handicap license placard was stolen. Don't have an address on this one, but there was a suspect arrested for violating a restraining order. Ex-boyfriend violated a restraining order, and a neighbor called that in. Richmond and Fulton, drugs and heroin possession arrest. 22 Hull Street, restraining order violation. Another boyfriend showed up. 22 battery, car break-in, and then there was some shoplifting at CVS. And then onto the feast. So there were a total of 68 arrests made during the feast. These were mainly underage teenagers coming in from Linfield, Wakefield, Peabody, Danvers. Captain Fung was given the go-ahead by the mayor, and thanks to the mayor and the mayor's office for really taking control of the feast this year. So 68 arrests. It started with the Fisherman's Feast. There were 20 arrests for alcohol, trespassing, disorderly conduct, fighting, and then 25 arrests on the second night of that. A little more than half were under 18. But by the time we got to St. Anthony's Feast, it went down from 5 arrests on Friday night and 6 arrests on Saturday night. So it was a significant decrease. And all of this because the Boston police really went ahead and took control of the situation. And just want to thank them for that. And that is all. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, thank you. I mean, I think it was clear that they weren't coming here to partake in the feast itself, but rather just cause disruption, which in turn hurts the families that go to enjoy it. So we're happy to see that, although we've taken a little bit by surprise the first weekend that Boston Police responded, and we were able to really limit it and have people enjoy it by the time St. Anthony's came around. So thank you to.
Yeah, and the kids, just one thing to add, the kids were given community service in their neighborhoods. One was given community service here. They're not allowed back into the North End without a parent, and they had to do an essay on the Fisherman's Feast. So, and also the arresting officers basically said, take a photo of your friend being arrested and send it out to your other friends who are coming in to let them know, like, we have a no tolerance policy for this. So I thought that was very well executed, and hopefully it just gets better and better every year.
Okay, thank you again. As to the Greenway Committee, our board meeting is tomorrow at 185 Nealon in the MassDOT building. All are welcome to attend. It's at 5:30. Saturday, the 16th from 11 to 5 is the Boston Local Food Festival, which is by the aquarium. They're bringing back Let's Dance Boston, 5 to 9 from the 13th to the 17th, so you can attend that. And there's plenty of other activities throughout all of September, as well as continued into the fall. So be sure to check rosekennedygreenway.org for their community calendar and to find out ways to volunteer. They're always looking for volunteer activities and things like that, so be sure to follow them online, and they're all over social media. So it's very easy to get in touch with them, but if not, you can certainly ask me and I can direct you to the right person. With that said, I'd like to see it grow this much is fantastic, and I appreciate all the work you've done to make it do that.
Been awesome.
Now I'll turn to the offices of our elected officials, possibly starting with Marie in the mayor's office. Marie.
Hi everybody, Maria Lanza, Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Just a couple of announcements on our end. There is a paving alert for Thursday through Monday, September 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The paving will take place on Commercial Street. So starting on Thursday, Union Wharf to Commercial Wharf. Friday will be Battery Street to Commercial Wharf roadway. And then Sunday, ending it out with Causeway Street to North Washington Street. This is a part of the Connect Historic Boston project. Any questions or comments or concerns, you can always reach out to Kay Bonnet-Smith, who's the project manager, and her number is 617-388-0363. And we should be seeing the project at completion by this fall, so hopefully end of October, November date for that. A couple of other things before I mention my next, I just want to recognize Eric Prentice is here from the Office of Public Works. So if you guys have any questions with the Office of Public Works, please feel free to grab Eric. He's here to listen and just come say hi to North End neighbors. Really just wanted to highlight 311. I know we had a busy moving weekend last weekend in the neighborhood and kind of still trickling on to now. Boston 311 enables real-time collaboration with you, citizens, and our city departments. So as much as we try to be the eyes and ears out there constantly, there are some times where you guys can see something that we might not. So please use 311 and help us help you. You can call 311 as long as you're in city limits just by dialing 311 on the phone. You can use the Boston 311 app where you can just take a picture of whatever issue you see and send it in to us. You can also use boston.gov/BOSS311 to use it on the computer as well. So just making sure that we're using 311 for all non-emergency constituent services. On another note, we are looking for poll workers in the election department for the upcoming election days being Tuesday, September 26th and Tuesday, November 7th. So there are 255 precincts in the city, and we need plenty of help with those. If you're interested in applying to be a poll worker, I do have some flyers up here that I'll leave on the table for John, and you can go online at boston.gov/poll worker, call the office at 617-635-0905, or just come into City Hall and visit room 241, which is the Elections Commission. And on the topic of elections, we do have a polling location change here in the North End. So Ward 3, Precinct 4, which was previously at the Knights of Columbus on North Margin Street for the better half of the century, has now been converted to the Casa Maria Apartments, which is at 130 Endicott Street. So if you vote in Ward 3, Precinct 4, and you voted at the Knights of Columbus previously, in this upcoming election, you will now be voting at the Casa Maria Apartments at 130 Endicott Street. So just important to note that. If you have any questions about that, you can always call the Elections Commission at 617-635-8583 or by email at election@boston.gov. Another thing coming up is the Hubway program is using their bike share expansion. So they'll be touring the city right now, holding meetings on where you would like to see the Hubway program expand to. So we do have a couple of stations here on Commercial Street, and if you have a good idea or location, please join them on Wednesday, October 11th, here in this room at the Nazara Center at 6 o'clock, and listen to the Hubway and see how popular their program has become here. And if you have another suggestion for a new Hubway station, definitely let them know. And last but not least, this one's a little personal to me. So the Mayor Walsh is accepting applicants for the Mayor's Youth Council for the 2017 to 2018 year. Being an alum on NYC, I know how important it is, and it kind of sparked my interest in city government. So if you do know any teens in high school, either grades 9 through 12, who are interested in helping design youth programs and working with the city and their elected officials, and it's a really different kind of program. They meet once a month at City Hall, and you just have to be a resident of the city of Boston and in high school. So to learn more about it, please visit boston.gov/BCYF, and the deadline for that application is September 30th. And I'm done.
Great. Does anyone have anything for Maria or Eric Wilbur? Great. I'd also like to recognize Luigi from Senator Joe Boncore's office. Thank you. And Alana from Councilor Sabi George.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Alana Olson, and I work for one of your 4 at-large city councilors, Anissa Sabi George. I did leave an office newsletter by the door, so please feel free to grab one of those, but I want to just highlight a couple of things. On Thursday, Councilor Sabi George is hosting a policy briefing on transitions from pre-K to kindergarten. One of Mayor Walsh's excellent initiatives is universal pre-K, and Councilor Sabi George, as a teacher and a mother of 4, really wants to make sure that every child is really prepared for that first day of school, that first day of kindergarten. Also, Councilor Sabi George has been doing a lot of work on the needles that we find in our parks and playgrounds around the city. Last year, the mayor's Mobile Sharps team collected 20,000 needles from our parks and playgrounds, and I know that you guys have found them here in the North End as well. So just a reminder, if you do find a needle, you can use the 311 app that Maria was talking about for safe disposal. But Councilor Sabi George worked with the mayor to double the capacity of the Mobile Sharps team in the last budget process, but it's not enough. So she's filed an ordinance asking that all of our retail pharmacies, we're specifically looking at the CVS and Walgreens, start contributing to some of the solutions of the opioid epidemic. And she's asking that they begin taking back their Sharps. So we had our first hearing on this. It's moving to a working session, which is exciting. That's when we kind of tease out some of the language of what this is really going to look like. But if you guys are interested in helping keep needles out of your parks and playgrounds, please let me know. We're looking for letters of support. If you have any questions on how we're going to do this logistically or what some of the other models are, I'm more than happy to talk about that with you. Also, September is Recovery Month. It's an important time of year for many people in our city, and I do just want to take a moment to give a plug to a number of amazing events that are happening around the city. Councilor Sabi George actually recognized Learn to Cope, which is a great organization for anyone who is actually in recovery themselves or has a family member that's in active addiction or recovery. These are the kinds of resources that we need, and I think this is a good time, a good moment to pause and say thank you to all of the people in the recovery community that are doing so much and trying to save so many people. So thank you guys. If you have any questions for me, I'm here all night, let me know, and there's a newsletter by the front door.
And then finally, Patrick Lyons, Representative Michael Latalo.
Hey guys, how's it going? Patrick Lyons from Rep. Michaels' office. Just a little quick announcement. If you don't see Aaron around for the next 10 days or so, he's not ignoring you guys. He's just away in his honeymoon. So we're still running office hours the same. If you guys have any questions, need help with anything, feel free to give us a call, shoot an email. Thanks.
Okay. I don't think I missed anyone, but if I did, please. All right.